3, 2, 1. Okay. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us today, and thank you for waiting. We are joined today by Kuba Kozlowski. He's a concept artist and has worked in the game industry, entertainment industry, as an environment artist. And we're just happy to have him today and look at some of his work, hear a little bit about his story. Just to give you a little bit of a background on me, my name is Jaron Dorman, and I'm the design community manager here at Gravity Sketch. And so I just connect with all of you and talk with all of you on our socials and help making training content and everything. And so it's just a pleasure to meet people like Kuba and have him on. So if you want to ask any questions for Gravity Sketch or for Kuba during the live, please just write it in the chat, and I'll be monitoring that and try and shoot them toward Kuba's way and when it's appropriate during the conversation. So yeah, feel free to ask some questions and we'll get rolling. So without further ado, Kuba, I'll just let you introduce yourself. If you could just share a little bit about who you are and your background for those that are watching.
Yeah, sure. First of all, thank you for having me. Like it's it's crazy to be here after all those great people. I saw Mingwen last time. It's crazy that you invited me even.
It's our pleasure.
Yeah, so yeah. So my name is Kuba or Jacob Kozlowski. You can switch it if you want. I am currently a concept artist and illustrator working in game industry for about 7 or 8 years. So yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I didn't know how long it was, but yeah, I mean, you've done some amazing work. I think you've had quite a following on your socials, so there might be a number of people here that are familiar with your work. But if not, it'll be a pleasant surprise. Well,
I hope so.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, myself, just on a personal level, I've been following your work even before I joined Gravity Sketch. So it's really great to be talking to you, just from a personal standpoint as well. So thank you for joining us once again, and it's really great. So I want to know, just like right off the bat, how did you discover concept art as a career? What was that journey like? Because I know it's different, depending on who you're talking to and everything. But what was that journey like for you, discovering it as a career, and then you making the decision to want to be a concept artist?
Yeah, so it's quite a long story, but I try to make it short. So I always like to draw, to create stuff. I was this creative kid. I think most kids are creative, but my parents signed me to some art classes when I was probably 10 or 9. So yeah, I had that art education pretty early. So yeah, I attended some live drawing classes, still life classes, so stuff like this from when I was 10 to probably 17 or yeah, kind of. So I was always in this art world. And in the meantime, I always loved the games. So I remember first thing about games and let's say art. I don't know if you are familiar with a game, Icy Tower, I think.
I'm not, but I'm sure people.
It's a game when you have a little character that jumps on the tower top. Pixel arty, very old. I remember when I was, I think, 10. I dig up the files that create the character in the game, and I edited them in Paint, I think.
Oh
So
wow.
yeah. I just swapped some images for my character, some motion,
Wow.
step-by-step motion. Yeah. So
Wow, that's cool.
I think this was the first time that I made something for games. And
Wow.
yeah, I guess from that moment, I always had in back of my mind those questions mm, how art uh, is used in games, how artists are like creating stuff for games. So I think it was pretty natural for me. Yeah.
Yeah, so that foundation, those foundational experiences, it was sounds like it was, I mean, trained in you from very very early on, your love and understanding for art. Um,
Yeah. And I guess yeah, it was awesome to be in that world from very young age because it became like a second uh, or a first thing even for me
mhm.
to focus. So yeah.
It might go without saying, but I mean, this is something that I've heard from other concept artists, and ones that are doing fairly well, and that is just the importance of foundational skills. Could you just talk briefly just about the importance of probably those foundational skills that you had early on, and how those really do carry on into your professional career. I mean, you can't just jump right into doing the crazy paintings like you. There's a lot of fundamentals that are go from the ground up there.
Yeah, I guess I don't like focus on those things right now just because they are second nature for me.
Right.
But
Yeah.
to give you an example, even if you like work with 3D, you render some stuff, you have all those passes, uh, crazy amount of layers in Photoshop. There are always times to paint over something, to give something extra that you don't have in the render, for example. So in that moment, basic perspective understanding is like very helpful. Uh, yeah, I could give you like many examples like this, but yeah, perspective, like color theory, uh, design basics, what makes a design good or bad. Yeah,
Yeah.
this is like ongoing process with the design thing, I think, the most for me at least. But yeah, also some composition principles or uh, understanding values. Yeah, there's quite a lot,
Yeah.
but yeah.
it it can seem like quite a lot, but I mean, you just said it a minute ago. I mean, you don't even think about it now because it's just like second nature. It's part of your.
Yeah, about also about those early classes that I attended. That was mainly live drawing and still live drawings. I think it teach me taught me to see proportions right, to uh, to look at something and understand what's happening up there. So it's it's helpful even with, I don't know, reference board when I have it on the second screen. I look at it and I pretty much catch all those the most important proportions in, I don't know, in some object or something, and I can translate it into my design or artwork.
Well, I kind of want to ask you this next question here. So, um, I mean, obviously, there's a pandemic going on around the world, or has been, and um, a lot of people are working remotely, and a lot of companies, industries are being shifted and changed by this. I would just love to get your thoughts and your perspective and your experience on how working remotely or working from home maybe has affected your um, has affected your work since everything has happened, and maybe some insights that you've gotten, thoughts that you might have on the future of working, I guess in general,
Mm-hmm.
especially as an artist.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, oh, I think we skipped the career path, but it's okay. Yeah, yeah, because I wanted to go back to the where I work right now
Oh
and
yeah,
what
yeah.
I do. Yeah, so currently I'm a senior concept artist, environment concept artist
Mm.
at 11-bit Studios. And yeah, about your question, work about working remotely. Uh, yeah, it's almost a year, I think, when I work remotely for this company. Yeah, what changed? Well, I can sleep a little bit longer, I guess, which is always good. Uh, Not enough, still, but yeah. Uh, yeah, for me, it's nothing like bad about it. It's probably better.
Mm.
Yeah, the bad thing about it is I think I get to move a little bit less
Mm.
because when you have to go to the studio, you naturally have to like go
Yeah,
go out. Yeah.
you have to be
So
a little
yeah,
more intentional, right, with moving around, being a little active, and doing
yeah.
things.
So yeah, right now it's way less move for me, but I will try to change it. Right now the weather in Poland isn't nice. So yeah, I'm waiting for some sunny days to move more.
Yeah, when does that about? Just out of curiosity, when does that kind of start coming around the nicer weather there in Poland?
I think it should be like in 2, 3 weeks, maybe.
Oh, so not too far,
Maybe
not too long.
it's hard to predict, to be honest,
Gotcha.
because uh, today I think we have about 0 degrees, and
It's pretty cold.
yeah, tomorrow can be like -5, I think, and then it will go up. So it's like up and downs.
Wow. Well, I'm in Austin, Texas, and
Oh,
the weather was pretty wild here a few weeks ago, and it was like a blizzard, and then you know now it's I mean it was like it got back up to 80 like not too long after, which was
okay.
wild, but Fahrenheit, 80
Yeah.
degrees Fahrenheit,
Yeah,
but
I was just wondering why you have so bright window. I thought you are in London right now.
no, no.
Yeah.
Yeah, U.S.
Okay.
based on this side. So we're
Yeah.
there's a couple of us in the U.S., but most everyone is based in London,
Mm.
working from home. Some going in the
So
office,
yeah,
things like
but
that.
you can see the
Yeah, yeah, I can see in the background. Yeah, it's
windows in Poland usually look like this.
much later in the evening. Um, but that's so cool. I mean, like, yeah, I just really was curious about how it may have affected the work. Working remotely. I mean, it's seems overall it's a lot of people like it. At least in the creative industries, the entertainment industry, it seems to be working out just fine. Um,
Yeah, the studio work from home is for sure a cool thing to have, but also about some freelance stuff. I started to get more and more like requests for freelance work from companies that usually don't do like remote work.
Interesting.
So yeah, so for sure, lots of companies saw that you can actually work this way.
Yeah, I mean, there's I'm trying to remember who told me. I think it might have been my mom actually. The company she works for just like said, um, you know, they're going to be working remotely indefinitely. And if you want to work from home for the rest of your job, then you can. If you want to come and work in the office, you can. So it's like things are really shifting and changing. It'll be really interesting to see maybe some new tools and new things software wise that kind of come and fill this space. I mean, we've already seen it happening, but
Hmm.
I think that there's going to be even more of that. Um, I want to ask you, because obviously you've used Gravity Sketch a little bit. What was the process of discovering Gravity Sketch and um, using it in your workflow, trying it out? What was that like initial experience of finding out
Hmm.
about it and trying it out?
Uh, Probably it was because of Jama Jurabaev, because like he was the
Yeah.
first guy that started showing it to concept artists and to art community, I think. Because your company is like present from pretty much beginning of the uh, Rift One, I think.
Mm, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
Pretty much.
yeah, so I think when I first heard of VR headsets, I also did a quick research on the internet and I saw Jama making some cool shit. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll admit myself. I mean, I've only been with the company for only about 7 months now, but I've been using Gravity Sketch for the last like 4 years. And oh Lord, gotta have a little alert on my phone here. Um, but yeah, I mean, last 4 years, and I saw Jama stuff as well, and it was just like super inspiring, and I was like, oh man, it like the whole like sculptural sort of like gestural stuff that he did
Hmm.
was just like, oh, like it just totally um, gave me just a whole new idea, way to approach VR and like the uses for it, um, not just like cars and like surfacing, but like really expressive organic stuff as well.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
and but that's super cool. So Jama, and it's funny. Several of the concept artists I've talked to, they name off Jama as well, and he's been a very close advisor and has visited the studio like a ton, just like using Gravity Sketch and everything. So he's been very much an early adopter in that way, and seems to be
Yeah,
definitely like a
and
pioneer.
also I think you have the cover photo of Gravity Sketch by Jama.
Yeah.
Probably. I don't know. I may be
Is it like
wrong.
the vehicle one, like the
Yeah,
bikes?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, those were actually done by Jad Saber.
Oh, sorry. Sorry,
No,
Jack.
no, no, no worries. But there is some of his work though, and I think some visual stuff you can see. But no, yeah. Well, that's super cool. So that inspired you, and then from there you just decided to just like dive
Yeah,
right in.
yeah. First time I discovered like goggles, VR goggles, was at some museum, I think.
Okay.
A little presentation. Uh, yeah, I think it was a tilt brush
Okay. Oh
back then
yeah, yeah.
installed. Yeah, yeah. So I just started sketching in space, and I was like, okay, this is it. And two months later, I got my first good old Rift One headset. About 3 years ago, I think. I bought it. Yeah, and from this time, I'm all in.
I love the Rift. I love the original Rift. I do have the Rift S now, but I mean, just the design's great. Controllers amazing. It's just a great design. My first VR headset was actually the Vive,
Hmm.
and uh, I thought that was like the coolest thing. And then, um, but I was curious about the Rift because there's all this like proprietary or like special programs that you could only get like on the Oculus store. And I was like, man, I
Hmm.
feel like I'm missing out, And there's some roundabout ways, of getting it, but I tried it out. Somebody else had it, and I was like, man, I love these controllers. So I just sold my Vive and I got the Rift, and rest is
Yeah,
history.
the controllers in Vive are too big, I think.
Yeah.
Even for Gravity Sketch, I used it in Studio, the Vive one. It's not too easy to control.
A little
I don't
cumbersome.
know. Yeah, the comfort is way less.
Yeah, I think we've learned a lot
Way.
more about what works now in VR, and I think probably a lot more developers, a lot more companies are moving in the direction of Rift. It seems,
Mm.
but
Yeah, probably. Yeah, because of the Quest 2 also. I don't know, like your company, you you made this awesome Gravity Sketch for a mobile device. So it's crazy.
yeah. Well, just a little hint, also a little teaser to those watching. We've got the iPad app that'll be coming out this month, I believe. So no official date yet, but be on the lookout for some updates from us on that. So at least the goal is this month. So yeah, no official date yet, but little something to look forward to. So Kuba, can you just tell me a little bit about some of the latest projects that you've been working on? I know that some of the people watching, or the people watching, would love to see some of that. And I think you had some things that you were going to show.
Yeah, about the most recent projects, I can't show anything.
Understandable,
They
yeah.
are, yeah, currently three pretty big projects. One in studio that I can't tell anything about. Yeah, and two freelance ones, also pretty secret. So sorry for that.
It's okay.
One thing I can tell you that each one of them is different in style, from super stylized to semi-stylized to uber realistic one. So it's pretty cool to be able to switch from those projects that do not feel like bored or
Yeah,
something.
yeah, it's got to be really fun to just like be able to play around with different styles and kind of expressions and art
Yeah,
style.
and I can tell you that for each one of those projects, I use Gravity Sketch, so it's
Wow.
pretty versatile tool.
Do you
And
primarily do you primarily use it sort of in like a base, sort of like a 3D base, and then you start painting over top of it? Is that kind of like the general workflow?
yeah, pretty much. Uh, Sometimes you can get some layout from level designer. You can block out your stuff in Gravity Sketch. You import the blockout, very basic one from level designer. You just create the geo on top.
Right.
Then you export it into Blender or Modo or what you like, and you render and then paint over. Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, because a lot of your work.
This is
Yeah.
this is pretty much it. But I have, I think, three project that I want to share screen with
Okay.
you.
Yeah, go right ahead.
Okay, let me see. All right, so okay, can you see this
Yeah, that looks great.
this image? Yeah, I think it's some people may recognize it, but yeah, I wanted to go through the process a bit
Yeah, that'd be
because
great.
yeah. So I think this was the first like reference that I got
Wow.
for this one.
So that's a real place.
Yeah, this is a real place. This is some cool religious place in Portugal, I think.
Wow.
Yeah, Sintra. Yeah, this is the name of this place. So yeah, this was basically all I got. And I will jump right now into Gravity Sketch. Let's see. Okay. Is it on?
Yeah, we can see it.
Okay. Let me just grab the controllers. Okay, I think it went out.
Oh yeah, I guess it looks like the image is frozen.
Yeah. Okay, so
We can see
bear with.
the.
Yeah,
Um,
it froze, I think. Okay, so I wanted to make it quick, but
we can see
it's a fail.
partially the geometry there. It's just
Yeah,
frozen.
I think it just crashed.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I had like uh, uh, put it on sleep mode,
Oh, I see. Yeah.
the goggles. So yeah, sorry for that.
Ah, that's all right.
Okay.
The geometry that was there in Gravity Sketch was that. I guess you're probably going to talk about it, but like, was that some of it
Yeah,
created in Gravity Sketch, or was it imported in and then you did more work in Gravity? I was just curious what part of the process.
yeah. Basically, okay. I have update the gravity sketch. So okay. But let's see. Okay. Okay. All right. So basically, I created the base geo in 3D code.
Ah,
Yeah, it was created in 3D code, and okay, I will open it right now. I think it will take probably something about 1 minute because it's pretty big scene.
okay.
Um,
Yeah, no
but yeah,
worries.
yeah, the geo was made in 3D code. It was decimated in Blender. Yeah, just to not kill my PC because yeah, the 3D code meshes are dense. They are big. So
Out of curiosity, just a little technical question. Why did you choose Blender for the decimation? Is Blender particularly good at doing that?
uh, I don't know. I think you could like use what you want. Mm, Most of today's softwares got pretty cool decimation systems. So yeah,
Okay.
even 3D code is awesome for basic decimation. But
Okay.
yeah, I was like trying to pick that sweet spot where it still looks cool, but it's light enough for VR to. Okay. I think we are in.
Yeah. Yeah. It looks great. We can see it.
Yeah, cool. Okay, let me switch this. Okay, so I think this was what I got with 3D Code and Blender.
Yeah. I love all the
And
texture.
yeah, the texture is awesome. Like it's pretty like looking low poly, but when you render it out, it's pretty amazing. So yeah, I was like, okay, I have this cool looking uh, tower. What do I do next? Because at this point, I haven't got any story, any idea for this. I just wanted to use it somehow. So uh, I bring it in Gravity Sketch to copy. I think there is a second copy right here. Yeah. So you can see that
Yeah. I
that
see.
this is like copied to make it like taller. Okay, so I started adding some details and the character. Yeah, and I I got this one. I think I also tried some stuff up here somewhere. Yeah, because I was like thinking about maybe doing it here or
Oh,
even
interesting.
lower. Yeah. So I was basically like exploring this place in VR just to see if I can get some cool angles, cool stories elements.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, just having fun and learn, like explore possibilities. What
Like
I
you're,
have
you know,
here.
a photographer and you're just like, you know,
Yeah,
going to different
right.
spots and sort of scouting out the area.
Yeah. So when I got the character here, and I thought because this image is pretty weird in when you think about the composition, it's it's uh, like this spiral thing
Yeah.
when you look at it. Uh, I saw it first time when I was like looking here and just rotating the light. So yeah, it's already I had already the idea for composition while being here, uh, and yeah, then I think I started. I think this isn't like the newest file, but yeah, I started adding those simple meshes for waterfalls here and there,
Hmm.
just to create
Interesting.
something even more interesting. Yeah, so yeah, as you can see, there's quite a lot of uh, gravity sketch stuff, like all of those red red spots, all of
Right.
those
Vines and
foliage elements.
yeah.
Yeah, these are mostly photo scans from Quixel imported into VR just to be able to to scatter around. And then in Blender, when you just assign the textures, the materials from Quixel, it looks like amazing. So,
That's beautiful. So you can basically by hand set dress your scene in VR,
yeah,
um, and then use that geometry and set the textures on it. So that's really nice because you can. It's almost probably more intuitive and allows you to be a little bit more artistic with the way you lay out your scene by hand
yeah, yeah, for sure.
by doing it in VR.
Uh, yeah, basically, like you say, uh, and you can see this. Where is it? Those stuff are like made with this simple line tool and polar symmetry.
Oh yeah.
Uh,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and yeah, just mm, it doesn't work. Okay, but yeah, this way, just thinking about those extra details in VR is pretty amazing. So yeah, I will now turn this one off.
I just wanted to ask you one another technical question for the brick textures
Mhm.
on your model. Did you you said you did that in 3D Coat. How did you get that to um, basically how did you get that texture on your model? Just curious about that process.
Texture on model. Yeah, I will. Okay, this is it. So this is this scene in Blender.
Yeah,
You can see it right now, yeah?
yeah, it looks great. That's really cool.
All right, so I will pick this one. Um, so as you can see, the geo made the texture basically.
Right.
it's it's a matter of using like some cool displacement maps in 3D code
Oh, okay.
to displace the simple mesh in those particular ways.
Displacement.
Uh,
Okay.
yeah.
Gotcha.
And then with some simple brick texture from Quixel,
Yeah.
it's already done. Yeah, it's of course not that easy, but yeah,
I
you
mean,
can
it
see
looks
that.
incredible. Just as the raw sort of scene in Blender there. I mean, it looks amazing.
Yeah, I also tried this VR for Blender stuff. I have it somewhere here, but yeah, you just put your headset on and you have the EV viewport
Wow.
like you were standing, but it's pretty buggy. Yeah, definitely not for such a big scenes.
And so from
Yeah,
here, you just send out some renders, pick some different camera angles, and then just start painting over top. Pretty much, is that right?
yeah, that's right. That's right.
Wow.
And yeah, starting from this one with some
Mm.
additional passes, like making the foreground a bit more interesting because this is like totally shitty. Yeah. So yeah,
That's
some
beautiful
fixes
work.
here and there. Yeah, some basic bird stamp in the distance and job done.
That's amazing. I just love seeing that workflow, and seeing the how it all kind of comes together. And when you break it down, it seems it really it seems like much more approachable. I think when you see the different parts that come into play. But I think what some people might miss, is like you had that really strong source of inspiration as well, um,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
which helped inform a
Yeah,
lot of
this
your
this is
decisions.
the cool point that I think the first thing before jumping into VR, Gravity Sketch or Medium or whatever, is if you want to create something, you have to know at least have some basic idea for the creation because even with simple sketching in Photoshop, when you have blank page, is pretty overwhelming at
Mm-hmm.
the times. So imagine that you are in this blank space, 360 basically, and it's even worse
Yeah,
than a blank page in Photoshop. So even having this one like reference is cool. But yeah, with this one I started outside VR and jump in. But I want to share a totally different approach
mm.
to the creation of an image or concept. This one, the Bot Island.
Yeah.
Yeah, this will be a bit funny, but I will show you this sketch that I made right before jumping into VR. So this was it.
Awesome. I love it. I love the light.
I think I shouldn't like show it, but
No,
yeah,
I think people love seeing like stuff like that. I love like rough sketches like that. It's my favorite.
yeah. Basically, you can see that the idea is there, even with this shitty sketch made on iPad, I think. Yeah, so I brought this simple sketch into Gravity Sketch, and I will quickly open it. It will be for sure a bit quicker than the previous one because it's all made in Gravity Sketch, and yeah,
Geometry is a little lighter.
yeah.
I mean, you can make your scenes pretty heavy in Gravity Sketch, but it takes a lot
Mm-hmm.
of objects.
Yeah, so this is the scene. Let's see what I got it. Okay. Okay. So yeah, this is the scene, the boat island. I think you can like go through the creation of this thing on my YouTube channel. I
Mm.
think I posted some time lapse of it. But yeah,
Yeah, we'll link
as you
to
can
that.
see, yeah, please. Yeah, pretty basic stuff here and there, just just basic blocks from Gravity Sketch. You can see this. This is, I think, the very simple move tool, like line tool, but with and caps. Yeah,
Yeah.
even not this one, this one. Yeah. So, yeah, this is this, and basically I made all the hand this way, just just by sketching, scaling, and yeah.
Wow. So very primitive forms and shapes. Um,
Yeah, very much primitive shapes.
yeah.
Yeah, and some of those also. If you if I need a cylinder, it's super fast to make it this way.
So obviously you showed that like that initial sketch a little bit ago as your kind of your
Hmm.
inspiration for this. So was the rest of the form exploration of the robot just right here in Gravity Sketch? You just were kind of like putting
Yeah,
some blocks together and looking at trying to find something that looked good.
yeah. Basically, like you say, I knew that I want some shot from here, so I tried to make this shape as interesting as I could. Probably I could do a better job. Yeah, those green ones are just to indicate, just an indication for me that later on I want to put some trees or foliage on
Mm,
top. The green layer here uh, is a moss or something.
mm.
Uh, some of those mossy stuff I just rudely copied it, uh,
Oh,
changed
that's
the
nice.
color. Yeah.
That's a cool little trick.
Yeah, you can like discover tricks like that all the time in
Yeah.
Gravity Sketch because yeah, it's really fun. It's pretty easy program. You have only few tools that you can use in very different way. Yeah, for
So and obviously like the tree, like the foliage and trees and all that, that was just for
Mhm.
Gravity Sketch. Like you didn't end up using that geometry in the final image, correct?
This one. No, no. I tried to do that to to um, to give it some cool material or texture, but nah, it was just hidden later on. And I used some trees from a pack or something. Yeah. So this is it. I will bring this one again. So yeah, with this scene, I started like exploring different angles, different compositions and lighting scenarios. So yeah.
So you mentioned you used for the foliage in your previous painting some stuff from Quixel. Is that where you're getting a lot of your 3D assets, especially like the natural 3D assets like the rocks and plants and things like that? Is that where you source most of that?
Uh, yeah, that I bring them into VR from outside. This was the question, yeah?
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
I mean,
basically.
like where your 3D assets in like the Blender, yeah, like it, like the like the rocks and the plants and the realistic kind of like
Y- Yeah, if I go with more, let's say, realistic look, and I try to not waste time and
Hmm.
just use some awesome assets from some packs.
Are there any
Uh,
other so besides Quixel, are there other like 3D assets that you source some things from that maybe people might want to check out or
uh, for for foliage tools, for foliage elements, I think I have a Botanic add-on.
oh,
It's
very cool.
pretty amazing.
That's one of the great things about Blender is there's so many plugins
Yeah,
and so many
Botanic.
add-ons that you can like do so many things.
Yeah, so if you can go and buy Botanic, it's pretty awesome to have. Uh, I will try to travel a lot here. Okay, so basically with Botanic you have ton of different foliage elements, like those trees, for example. Yeah, those plants are basically the same assets that I used in the
Hmm.
tower concept. Yeah, and here you have few like shots. Yeah.
And
Uh,
are you using like rectangles to get those cast shadows just to like get some dynamic shadows and lighting?
yeah, that's right. As you can see, there's huge plane here, just blocking the shadow,
That's really
the
cool.
the light, and and yeah, you try to design as good image as possible
Yeah.
using all the tools you have. So lightning is pretty important thing
Yeah.
because you can do quite a lot even with this tower image. I try to guide the eye a bit with uh, shadow shapes. Yeah.
Well, I want to ask you, what were some of your like inspirations as an artist early on, maybe even now? Are there any that in particular that maybe informed or inspired you in your during your journey?
Yeah, sorry. I will maybe switch off the sharing.
Oh yeah, no worries.
I will have to find it. Ah, okay, it's here. Stop share. Okay, I'm back. So yeah, first inspirations from me when it comes to artists working in entertainment industry was for sure Feng Zhu, I think.
Hmm.
He started the streaming his work on YouTube a long time ago, so for sure this one. Uh, Probably Sergey Kolesov. I don't know if you know his works.
No,
It's
but I'll have to
pretty
add that in the description. How would you how would you spell that, just so I can have it?
uh, Kolesov with a V at the end. Kolesov.
Okay. What, what was the first name?
Sergey. Sergey.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. I'll try and add a link to that in the description after the.
And of course, some Craig Mullins works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the OG.
So yeah, the OG. So nothing original. I think most of people watching knew those guys. Yeah,
But
yeah. But
that's
mhm.
great. I mean, I'm always just curious people's inspirations and where they draw their.
Yeah, this
Uh,
was at the very beginning. But you know that uh, right now, when you go to our Artstation, I'm becoming a fan of new great artists every single day. So yeah, they're just popping like I don't know,
there's
like
so many.
flowers from yeah, from nowhere. We are like, oh shit, another. Another good one.
I feel like sometimes as an artist, especially in this day and age where it's so saturated, in the industry with talented artists out there, you really have to put your blinders on. I mean, obviously you don't want to be blinded, right? You want to be looking at what's out there and inspired, but sometimes you do need a little bit of a blinder to not be distracted, because I feel like you can get a little bit maybe discouraged if you're looking at so much, you know, out there, and you start, if you're not self-aware, maybe you start comparing yourself and all of that kind of thing. And it's like good to have a healthy, I feel like it's good to have a healthy interaction and exposure to what's out there without um, sort of turning that inward, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, and also it's good to have a passion for something particular, I think, just to not get too distracted, because when you go to main page of Artstation, there are characters, there are like animations, FX stuff, uh, I don't know, monsters, characters, like like you said, saturated like image
Mm.
of what you can do. Like yeah, so it's good to have this your main thing. Of course, you can like jump and try different things. I personally like to do this. When you go through my Instagram page, it's like, yeah, you can get dizzy a bit, I think.
I
Yeah.
mean, dizzy in the most beautiful way, I would say. I mean, yeah,
Okay.
I mean, uh, yeah, I totally know what you mean. Finding that the thing that you're interested in, because that kind of like helps anchor you, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. So for me, this is environments for now, right now, at the moment. Uh, but I really like character stuff, monsters, all different stuff. Yeah, I also try to do some animations from time to time. I don't post it, but just for me, just to have fun, just to like expand my interest. Yeah. So
Awesome. Yeah. Well, it's very it's. I mean, now more than ever, it's definitely easy to find excellent work out there. I feel like the common theme, at least from my observation, is just a lot of artists and designers want to find their style. Like, what's my style? What's my thing I'm interested in? And uh, I think I'm still figuring that out myself, but it's just like I think there's a big kernel of truth in what you said, in kind of just staying uh, focusing on what it interests you, and what things kind of like that you constantly maybe think about. What are some things that you're always putting your attention towards? Maybe there's something there that you can something unique you can bring to it as an artist, like your interpretation.
yeah, yeah, right. I personally also spent a lot of time to find my style,
Mm.
let's say. Uh, but right now I think I stopped basically because yeah, I think it's pretty limiting
Hmm.
for you. Of course, there are amazing artists that are creating like same style for 10, 20 years and they are successful. But yeah, I try to do it a bit differently. And as I told you at the beginning, right now I'm working in basically three different places, from super stylized to super realistic.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's also good to have those like different venues to go.
And there might be something to be said about, you probably find your style just naturally as you work and as you gain experience, as you work on different projects. You probably almost just discover it. You don't really create it. At least a lot of artists that I've listened to, they never like invented their style. They never said,
Mhm.
"Oh, I'm gonna do this style and this is my style." They just kind of almost discovered it, found it through um, just through their experiences and um,
Yeah, right.
yeah,
Like when it comes, it comes, I think.
yeah,
You
yeah.
can make you can't make it like go quicker than you can. Yeah, for sure.
Well, let me ask you. So, uh, I want to ask you a little bit coming back to Gravity Sketch. This is something we always like to ask a lot of our community users is, are there any tools or wish list items, things that you kind of wish that was in Gravity Sketch that you wish you could use, things that you think would be great, improvement. We're always looking for feedback. So were there any thoughts that you had on that?
Yeah, yeah. So I will start with basic ones, but that I think lots of people wish, but I think it's too complicated
Mm,
to be implemented. So booleans
yeah,
would be awesome to have, but I guess it's too heavy to compute on for sure for
it's definitely
West.
a desire for
Yeah,
from our end.
yeah. So booleans is the first one. Uh, for me personally, some some option to turn on fog.
Mm,
Pretty basic linear fog
mm-hmm.
uh, to view the space a bit better would be amazing. Because I know that you are focusing on uh, design stuff like designing objects or something. So fog isn't that necessary for those things. But for me personally, if I could like give that space a bit of depth,
Mm,
uh, it would be amazing. So
I agree. That would be really cool.
yeah, if you can add it, I would love Gravity Sketch even more. And the last tool, I don't know if you are familiar with Maquette,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Microsoft Maquette. Yeah,
Yeah.
so they have a tool kind of voxel-like, like voxel, but you can see that this is like basic poly. So
Yeah.
in Gravity Sketch, when you paint with volume tool, it's like when you do this shape, it's always like closed in the middle.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you could like create an object, but it would snap a bit around, not filling the space between, it would be really great. For me,
Interesting.
it could be like also simple low poly thing.
Yeah.
Uh, that would be enough.
So it
So
wouldn't
yeah,
fill, you're saying it would work like the volume tool, but it wouldn't fill on the inside. It would be kind of
yeah.
one-sided.
I guess you would have some really dense grid underneath, I think, and it would just snap to the grid and not snap in like close the whole shape.
I see.
Uh, if you could like ping your guys, show them the this tool in Maquette, it would be awesome. But
Yeah, that's really
yeah,
interesting.
I think it's not that hard to implement.
Yeah.
Definitely uh, less hard than Boolean. So yeah.
Well, we internally we have these like on Mondays or some of the Mondays we have. I can't remember actually how frequently we do this, but it's just like a free day, and essentially like you have the freedom to explore anything you want in the within the company. So like oftentimes the engineers are like making little add-ons or little tricks or things that they've changed about the Gravity Sketch software, and then we share it. They share it during our meetings, and it's really cool. Some of the stuff they've done. We're going to start. We've been talking about sharing some of that with the community. Some of the stuff that the engineers have been making to see what people's feedback is. So I feel like some of these things that you've said could be some ideas for the engineers to just like play around with
Cool,
on a free
cool.
day.
If you want, I can also send you some video where I use this tool,
Yeah, yeah,
how it
please do,
works.
please
Yeah.
do. I will send that to the product team if you send me that. because they're always taking reference from the industry,
Hmm.
what's going on, and so yeah, if you send me that, I'll pass it over to the team, and it'll probably spark some good discussion. So
Awesome,
yeah,
awesome.
um,
That would be great.
well, thank you for sharing those. Unless you had any more at all that you wanted to share.
I don't know. No, no, no. I
Okay.
think that's
Um,
all. Like I love Gravity Sketch tools. They are the power in them is in simplicity, I think. They they are all very simple, not overcomplicated. You have this tool, it can be like used in 10 different ways if you are creative enough. So yeah.
Well, that's another aspect to all this, and this is something good to say. I think for everyone listening is that there's a lot more tools, a lot more functions that could be added to Gravity Sketch just in sub D. I mean, if you're a sub D modeler, you know that there's tons of tools and functions that you can have that we could add in Gravity Sketch, but sometimes, like what you just said, for the sake of simplicity and for
Mhm.
intuitiveness, we really try and limit the amount of functions and tools in Gravity Sketch down to like the most essential tool that will help you be the most creative and not be in your way as a creative person. I mean that we believe is what makes Gravity Sketch so powerful is just allowing you to create and not having to think about which menu do I need to go to and like which tool do I need to use. And so that's why we really ask for a lot of feedback and listen to the community and try and find okay, if we add this tool, is this really going to help someone's workflow? Is this going to be really relevant to the artists and designers out there, or are we just like adding more weight, to
Mhm.
this program? So,
Yeah,
um,
also I want to add this thing that sometimes limitations are awesome thing because
hmm,
it forces you to be creative,
hmm,
to use very simple tool in a bit different way than you usually do. So yeah, even for those fingers of the robot, I could use a sub-D box, I think, just to
yeah,
just to move the vertices around. But instead, I used a simple line tool with a bit different settings, and it works almost the same as the box. So you can like find all those cool solutions for your needs in every tool, I think.
absolutely, yeah. I mean, it kind of makes you. It helps you be more creative. I feel like you just like
Yeah.
how can I use this tool? Yeah, like yeah, it's a great point. Um, Well, I just want to ask you before we kind of wrap up, where can people find you? I know Artstation and Instagram. Are there any other place? Do you have a website people can go to, or do you any other
Mm,
place that you want people to go and find you?
I think I have a website, but it's not updated for a very long time, so maybe don't
That's okay. That's
don't do
fine.
it. Yeah, basically ArtStation, Instagram, uh, what else? YouTube, uh,
Right.
and Facebook, I think. I have still a
Okay.
fan page, but fan pages are, I think, uh, a song of the past. Yeah, but you can find me on social media, on Facebook. You can add me to friends. You can ask questions if you have some. I would try to help to to yeah to
Perfect.
just talk to you guys. If you have any topic to talk about, just ping me.
Awesome. Well, you heard it here first. Reach out to Kuba, and
Yeah.
he'll have a chat with you and share his knowledge. Well, I just want to thank you, Kuba, and I do have one last question for you, and this is something we ask um, a lot of our guests, and especially ones with experience like yourself. Is there any words of wisdom or advice you'd like to give to any of the designers or artists that might be watching?
Yeah, if you are starting out, I think please don't give up too early. Yeah, it's usually pretty hard to to maintain some interest to stay in the zone, to basically start creating and be happy about the work you do.
Mm-hmm.
Me personally, I even right now, when I look back at even those pictures that I show you, right now I can see like 20 mistakes that I could like fix. So yeah, it's always this way. Maybe it will go away someday, but yeah. Also, there's constant like up and downs when you are creative person. I think there are times when you wake up and you're like, okay, I'm like the boss here, and I can create everything. But there are times that you wake up and you're like, oh man, I don't know anything. I have to
Mm.
like learn so many stuff, so many new things that I never knew that even existed. That it's overwhelming. So, but please stay persistent. Have a goal, have a interest to follow, and yeah, I think you should have this inner drive because it takes so much time, to be honest, to do those things that without this desire to push forward, even if you are totally fucked up. When you are sleepy, you can't do anything. You should just grab a coffee, focus, and do the work. Yeah,
Awesome.
this is the way.
Well, thank you,
So
Kuba.
yeah,
Great.
also drink coffee.
Oh yeah, nice. Yeah, yeah. Drink coffee. Well, thank you for those words of wisdom, and I appreciate it. Yeah, thank you for your time, Kuba. I really appreciate you just like really going into your process there, jumping into VR for us, and showing your models and your scenes, and showing your process. So I know that everyone really appreciates that, and yeah, it was a pleasure chatting with you and meeting you, and really look forward to continuing to follow the work that you do.
Thank you. I hope I will have more time for personal stuff soon. But yeah, I have to wrap at least one project from the three, and then I will be good to go with personal stuff. So please stay, please follow, and just wait for new things because there are pretty amazing stuff coming soon.
Yeah,
Yeah.
cannot wait. Um, I was gonna ask you when we might expect some of that stuff that you're working on right now, when we might see some of that coming
Yeah,
out.
one of those I think in month or two
Okay.
should be done. But let's see. Yeah, let's see how it goes.
All right. Awesome. Well, yeah, everyone listening, yeah, keep follow Cuba for sure. We're gonna link to all of your stuff on the description, and as well as some of the other things you said, like there was an inspirational artist on there. We're gonna have that, so everyone can check out those links. And then if you're just now joining us and you missed it, this live will be available as soon as it's over. So feel free to go and watch it from the beginning. But anyway, with that, I thank everyone for watching, and thank you so much, Kuba, for your time. Appreciate it.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Awesome. Bye, everyone.